Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the West Country, or the West Coast. Today we got a very special job. This one sort of came to me not through Sam, so I got to use my own equipment for this one. But there's a couple of old guys who have a farm down in the north end of the map, and they're going to be moving in next week. And before they move in, because it's spring and they got to get ahead of the bar a little bit, they've hired me to go plow some fields for them. So we're gonna head up there and see what we can do. I'm calling in a friend today too, as usual for this series. Back in the day in Farm Sim 15, when I first started playing, the first little while I just sort of trudged around the maps myself and tried to get along the best I could. But there's a couple of YouTubers that were key to my education in Farm Sim and to the potential of mods, especially. Today's guest is one of the first people, well, I think he is actually the first YouTuber I subscribed to, and everything that he did on the British farms completely influenced how I play the game. Everything about the small farms like Knaveswell, and even I think it was called the Taste of Donegal. When he played those maps, in the end, the way that I play the game comes more from him than anybody else on YouTube or anybody else in the Farm Sim community. So let's see, the old guys own fields 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm gonna have to plow that monster over there too. They said they wanted to grow potatoes, which I'm not too crazy about, but we will see. I feel like I've had my fill of potatoes. Anyway, so I'm just gonna park myself here and we're gonna wait for my buddy. We'll see you guys in a moment. All right, there he comes. And a beautiful Matt XJS TW.
She's a stunner.
Hello, Simulate. Welcome
Hello.
to the farm. There we go.
There we go.
There you go. That's
I
awesome.
love that handbrake sound.
I know, it's pretty good, eh? I don't know, like I watched a lot of David Oldfield and Disco, and he had it in his, but he was using the handbrake mod on top of the Gearbox mod, and it was Kerbo who actually managed to include the sound into the Gearbox mod. So coming soon to the mod hub near you. All right, so, what's that? Oh, I got an old Vultra. This is from my my friend Mr. Mazzoni, my Finnish connection. He's MR'd it and he's added a bunch of stuff to it, and he built the weights as a separate element. And it's a work in progress for him, but it's by far my favorite tractor.
I had one of these in 15, but it looked different. It had like a huge thing on the front. I don't know how to describe it, like a different nose, and it had a logging crane on the back. It was basically for logging.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. They're pretty popular for that. Okay, so let's head over to Field 1 and we'll get going on the job.
Love the sounds on this west coast, on this side of the map, with the seagulls and stuff.
Well, there's the seagulls, and there's the you've got also the train that goes by, and the ocean and all that. These fields here are some of the most underutilized fields in the west coast, and every time I play this map, I always come back to this area because it's an absolute joy to work it. The views are beautiful. Everything about it just speaks to me. So the only thing that's a little bit tricky is getting into Field 1 sometimes because it's a bit of a tight turn. I've had to at times go into it in reverse, if you know what I mean.
That should be interesting for me then. My driving skill's not the best with head tracking on.
You're getting, the thing is, I'm watching you sort of struggle through some of this stuff on Oakfield, and I'm really loving what you're doing on that because You seem to have gotten back to your old style of farming. Are you all right there? Are you stuck again, or?
I had to do a little 3-point turn back at the sugar beet yard.
Okay.
But yeah, I've gone back to the way I used to do it because I went into the habit of doing what some YouTubers do, where they play for the viewers, and I thought I'm not enjoying this anymore, so I've gone back to playing for me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say, get rid of Gearbox mod, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep Gearbox mod.
No, that's it. I mean, I find that so many of the YouTubers end up doing that, where they have, you know, polls to see what they want to do next and all that stuff. And it's not, I don't know. In the end, you're playing a game, and if people aren't watching it to figure out how you play the game, then I kind of have an attitude of you're watching the wrong channel sometimes. So
That ocean is really loud.
it is, yeah. You want to take a moment to turn down the ambient sounds?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick. Immersion break.
This is the parts. This is the parts of the show that I just cut out.
I didn't seem to do anything on my end.
Oh, I might have to turn down the master volume on mine just for fun.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn the volume
Yeah,
up.
there you go.
Turn that down. Alright, that should do it.
All right. So how do you want to do this? You want to split the field in half? You start from there and go across, and I'll start from this end and work towards you?
Yeah, let's take a look. Oh, you're already facing the right way. Yeah, I'll start on this side of the field.
Okay, so I'm if you want to flip your plow over so that it's plowing towards the east, then we can start from there and go that way. Or actually, if you start in the middle and then you can work your way towards that side, and that way you won't be running into your furrows.
Okay. Right, so I'm going to split this up for people watching on mine, so they can see a little bit in first person, a little bit in third person.
All right. Let's see what I can do here. And I'm off. So I tend to just freehand everything because, you know, I'm in no hurry and I enjoy plowing. So if you're running GPS, I'll join up with yours in sort of a freehand mode.
Come on, T-Dub. Power!
Are you four-wheel drive on?
Yeah. See how long I can go without the dips, but four-wheel
okay.
drive's on. I'm not going to use GPS. I'm going to use the PDA. I have a habit of going diagonal sometimes.
Yeah.
As soon as I get one furrow down, it should be fine. Like one pass.
Yeah, the great thing about this map, though, is that it does have the multi-terrain angle on it. So even if you do make slight turns in your plow, the lines follow you, so it doesn't look too horrible.
So that line was a little bit wonky, but I'll just redo that one when it comes to it.
Yeah. So let's see here.
She's doing alright, this T-Dub.
Yeah. With the MR mod, I find that especially with plowing, the friction coefficients are super aggressive. So you got to sort of watch yourself with that stuff.
See, I got a different version of this T-Dub. I'm thinking that might be broken, not the actual T-Dub itself.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the one you're driving right now is the original Matt XJS mod. There's another version of it where somebody added 3-point linkages to the front of it.
Yes, and I'm using.
And I have that one too, but I haven't MR'd it yet, so it's not. It's in the store, but it's not MR'd.
So I've got that one MR'd, but I've just realised now when using this original, it's got the wrong gearbox. So that's a different gearbox. This one.
Okay. I don't know if that's MR or if that's the second mod author who may have changed it on you. Okay, that wasn't the best pass of plowing. I may have missed a bit. I'll come back at the end and clean that up with the headlands. So when did you start the YouTube channel?
August 16th. So my channel's nearly 2 years. Well, nearly 2 years now.
Wow. Okay. And what prompted you to do it with Farm Sim? I mean, you play so many other games. I know you're a fan of GTA and all sorts of other stuff. What prompted you to stick with Farm Sim as your game of choice for the channel?
Honestly, I used to watch Dagwin all the time, and I thought I played Farm Sim a lot in my spare time.
Yeah.
So this T-Dub is not going anywhere.
Are you stuck?
I think we're wedged. Let's get it lifted up a minute, back down. Let's put it into low range. Let's diffs.
Is it giving you too much wheel slip on it, or? Because that thing should be enough. It's 200 horsepower.
Sort of just got all 4 wheels spinning at this point.
Really, eh? Huh.
Okay, it's not the plow. It was just maybe a bit of dodgy terrain because I'm free now.
Okay, yeah, maybe there was a collision there or something. I know that because these fields don't get played very much, there's a few dodgy collisions in the upper corner that are sort of leftovers. I think it's from when he put in the bridge. He left 1 or 2 little bridge collisions in there. Things you only get to know when you get off the beaten path on these maps.
Oh, she's not liking this field whatsoever.
No, eh?
Right, let's start again. Right. I'm going to go in high range. Okay, let's go to low range.
Low range, I'll have to check the store to see what your power is on that thing. But mine seems to pull through pretty good.
I'm just getting loads of wheel spin. I mean...
Huh. Okay, I'll tell you what. You go and take over my patch, and maybe it's there's something in that part of the fields that's a bit weird.
Oh wait, we're free.
Oh.
I think I know the issue now.
What's that?
I don't think my tractor likes me putting the wheel in the furrow.
Oh, right. You got to stay on the you got to stay on the
bit of grass.
Yeah. That will happen.
I think MR is seeing it as a lot bigger than it, like a lot deeper than it actually is.
Yeah, I think MR and ground the ground modification mod or whatever it's called, they sometimes don't play nice together.
Got a train go past.
I know, it's beautiful, eh? That's one of the best things about working this field and working this end of the map is that you there's always something going on. Plus, you look over your other shoulder, you got the lighthouse. It's really one of my favorite parts of the map.
That first pass I did was terrible. What is going on here?
Don't hold yourself to too high a standard. You should see what I'm doing over here. I'm missing spots even.
I don't think you can get worse than me. Wait until you head back down this side of the field.
Yeah?
Bear in mind, this second pass I've done now is not completely straight, but it's a lot straighter.
Right.
It sort of goes to pot at the end a little bit.
You'll get into the swing of it.
So I have to go back and fix that. I have to go back and fix that anyway, because that's where that dodgy collision was.
Yeah.
Right, lift up.
So you started off watching Daggerwind. How long do you figure he's been around?
Sure, I don't actually know.
Because I have to admit, like for me, it was the like I watched a lot of your early stuff, but it was really on when you started things like Knaveswell, where it really that one really resonated with me in terms of the hedges and the shapes of the fields and stuff like that. I mean, the map was derped out in several different ways, not the least of which was that crazy grain dryer or potato dryer.
Oh yeah, that was Knaveswell Extended.
Yeah.
See, Knaveswell Original, the small one, that's my style of map that I like. I like the old rustic looking maps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did the actual. I used to watch Daggerwind basically, but that's the. I had a YouTube. Here's a lot of people know this already. I had a YouTube channel for like 7 years, but it was a different one.
Okay.
But I've made this one. This was meant to be my second channel, and it somehow took off a little bit, and so I ended up using this one.
What are you up to now? Like 50,000 or?
I can tell you the exact number because I got an app on my phone that tells me.
Oh, really?
We'll see if we can do this with 1% battery. 52,078.
Wow. That is an amazing amount of growth in a channel, because I think that when I joined you, you were on the road to 10,000, or I think it might have been even before that, because I guess it was March last year or March 2 years ago, and in the last year, your channel has just taken off.
Well, the first year, so 2016, my goal was 500 subs for New Year's Eve.
Really?
Not this New Year's Eve just gone, the one before. And I think we hit 30,000.
Wow.
Which, I don't know what happened in that first year. I think it was Thornton Farm and FS15 that made it grow.
But you've also, I mean, now you're doing the live streams, and I mean, and those things are monstrous. I mean, I tend to lurk in the background of those because you kind of need all the moderators on deck for that show, because it gets a little mental.
Just implemented Twitch again as well, so it's twice as much fun for the moderators.
Really? Are you running into problems with the ad revenue thing from YouTube?
See, this is a hard one to answer because I am, in terms of money, but I've also been uploading a hell of a lot less than I used to. I've gone from daily uploads to about 2-3 a week. If
right, right.
I missed loads here. It's fine. I'll fix it up at the end.
Yeah. It's plowing by amateurs. We're not going to get it. We're not going to nail it.
It's going to be loads of people kicking off in the comment section below.
You see, this is what you got to farm like me. Have lower people's expectations. They don't expect perfection. Therefore, I succeed every time.
Right, there we go. Get that lifted up. I'm going to do this one in third person.
Okay.
But yeah, the early sim. See, this is one thing a lot of people don't know. So the wheel cam thing came from someone who wasn't related to farm sim at all. I used to watch someone called Slap Train who does racing, drifting games.
Right.
That's a really cool idea. I'm going to try and do that with farm sim. So that's where that came from.
Okay.
But then I found someone on Twitch already did that. He called. This is the weird story. This has happened literally within the last week. This part. So I used to watch someone on Twitch called Gunning Gamers.
Okay.
He's American, I think. And I used to say, one day I wish I could be that big. And I went into his stream the other day on Twitch and said hello, thinking they ain't gonna have a clue who I am. Because this is no secret, I hang around on Twitch.
Right.
In my spare time. So I said hello, and then he went, "Oh my god, is that the real simulator?" And it's such a weird thing for someone I used to say I want to be as big as him, and then he's getting excited that I'm in his chat. I was like, weird. This is really weird.
This is a thing that was always sort of strange to me too. Is I started hanging out with you and Landy and Dave and stuff like that, and I never really, I don't know, maybe it's the way that I work. It was never a big deal that that you guys kind of included me in your little reindeer games. But it was it's funny how people react sometimes that you guys are minor celebrities. I mean, you know, within the YouTube community, within the farm sim community, everybody knows who you guys are. And it's quite impressive sometimes to know the community you've built around yourselves and the amazing success you've had with this game. But do you ever feel like you're kind of trapped by it sometimes too?
Sometimes, right? Me and Landy found this out. Oh, I just hit the microphone. Apologise. So if I don't upload farm sim video, say I upload a different video, like the firefighter stuff, for example.
Right.
It'll get less views on the first day. So like, if I upload a farm sim video, it may get 6,000, 8,000, something like that a day on the first day. Right. And if it's not farm sim, it won't. It'll get about 2 maybe. Right. But then for some reason, the non-farm sim stuff always, I don't know, it goes up in the next couple of days. If that makes sense. So if I do a firefight, it'll be like 2,000 on the first day, and I'll look 4 days later, and it will somehow be on like 25,000 views. I'm like, what has happened to that? Right.
Well, I gotta tell you that that issue is less of a problem with the community not watching non-farm sim content than it is with YouTube algorithms. So they push out your show to the people who regularly watch it, and then if it gets a certain number of likes or a certain number of views, they push it to one tier up. So that's why people sometimes complain that they didn't get your notification or stuff like that. And it's because of the way that YouTube does their math in terms of who they send notifications to. And it's a really weird thing. And I can imagine that if you do switch it up and it's not in your normal games category, that they push it out at a different pace or they push it out at a different time in terms of the notifications for people.
That makes sense. YouTube's been a bit of a mess lately anyway.
Yeah, they're trying to reinvent the wheel. They got something really good on their hands, and now they're trying to turn it into a television station, which I don't necessarily agree with.
I feel like I made my channel just in time because they still had the subscription box. The subscription box is now non-existent. Like, it's still there if you click on subscriptions, but I remember back in the day when you logged onto YouTube and it showed all the videos from new people you actually subscribed to.
Yeah.
Now I get stuff that's completely unrelated to me, but YouTube's making money off it, so they want to promote that as much as they can. Like,
I actually ran an experiment for a while and decided, okay, what if I start watching a YouTuber and I don't subscribe to him? So there's a guy who does World of Tanks videos, and I just started watching 5 or 6 of his videos in a single sitting. And then next thing I know, in my recommended section, there's nothing but him. And I'm not even subscribed to him, but he's the only person in my recommended section. So I'm not sure how they're doing the math, but I like to play with their algorithms sometimes.
ads are another funny thing. I like to see how accurate the ads are that they give me to what I'm actually interested in.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, it's not very accurate.
No, and that's the other thing too, is that on my channel I'm deliberately non-monetized, mostly because I absolutely hate ads. So I don't want my viewers watching ads. It's just that stuff is so random. And you look at guys like DeltaBravo, who I hang out with, and I mean, you know, he made like, you know, $80 in a year, sorry. So it's not worth me putting my viewers through the pain of ads for that. But I guess if you're running 30,000 people, and I mean, I watch sometimes your views, and you'll get 12,000 views on a single video, that must start to add up much better. That starts being worth it.
Strangely enough, I get the big videos where like people say, "Oh, you must have got a fortune from that." I really don't. It's like, if you go into my analytics, it's always the middle videos, I call them, like the middle tier videos that do better that way. Like the firefighter stuff does really well. I'm not sure why. I'm wondering if there's different ads attached to it or something, that higher paid ads or whatnot. But
well, that's the thing, is that's so unpredictable in terms of what actually drives YouTube to put whatever ad they have on the like in their giant bucket of ads. What is that particular advertiser looking for? So if you've got an ad that deals with food and you're doing farming, maybe they're not interested in that. But if you have an ad that deals with an ad that would benefit from being associated with firefighting and emergency workers and stuff like that, then yeah, I'm imagining they're going to spam the hell out of that. Woohoo! Tandem plowing.
I've just got back and fixing the bits that I've missed.
Nah, I do that at the end. The other thing too is that you got to remember the in Farm Sim, the plowing texture is only worth a 10% boost. So I tend to do the plowing sort of as a pleasure thing, and then once I cultivate it, it all gets fixed.
So do you like my first pass?
Yeah.
One.
The first pass is cool. I'm just wondering how you thought the second pass was going to match up with that.
Oh no, I didn't. The second pass was like, right, well, I believe this is a straight line, so we're gonna go for it regardless.
Okay.
I'll fix the first one later on. That was my theory on that one. I was like, we'll just leave it for a minute.
Yeah, whatever. You're making some wedges in the field, but that's okay.
Maybe Mark will pick the slack up.
There you go. We'll get Mark to fix it afterwards. It'll be fine. Yeah. I'm a guest on here anyway. I'll never see this field again.
I'm going to close this gate real quick.
I was in here on a multiplayer a while back, and I actually, what I'm doing now is what I did back then, is turn all these fields into potato fields. The only thing was that when I was last on here, the save game corrupted, so I never got to finish that one. This one, I'll get to finish. I just want to harvest potatoes on the West Coast.
See, what number was it? Let me get the map up real quick. Field 4. I did Field 4 on my series, the whole thing with potatoes, but I never got to harvest them.
Oh, you never harvested them?
Well, no, I planted them, a lot of good stuff, and then I got sent the new version for the straw add-on.
Oh, right.
And it somehow broke all of the, because I was using seasons, it broke all of the growth state and stuff, so...
Oh, so you never replanted them?
And then I was going to do it off camera, then I got sent outfield, so I was like,
Yeah, keep it moving, keep it moving.
Keep the train going here.
Yeah, I guess that's the real problem, I guess, with doing early releases of maps, right? It's what am I doing? I'm following the wrong one here, and I'm plowing on the wrong side. Hang on. Let me just try that again. All right, there we go. Much better.
It's this Tida. Once she gets up there, she's all right, but it's just getting going.
Huh? I forget now which way I'm supposed to be plowing. That's it. Well, sometimes with MR, that's sort of the more important thing is to get your momentum up, because it will make you work for it.
Some proper hood plowing going on here. Some ghetto plowing.
It is. It's funny, because in 17 they included the plowing as part of the plant, the growth model, and I never really did it in 15, other than if I was really bored. But somehow in this one I got the hang of it, and now I really enjoy it. If I want to relax, sometimes I'll pick a nice big field and I'll just do plowing. It's my version of mowing, I guess. Some people really enjoy mowing.
I was about to say that. I'm a mower.
Yeah.
When it's only really West Country, then. I've done that for years.
Yeah.
Mower.
Have you tried the new pull behind mowers that just came out? I noticed Dave was doing an episode on them.
I haven't tried them yet, but I've downloaded them. Because I had them on, ironically, Naysville on FS15.
Oh, really? You had those exact ones? Those exact models? Or?
I think it was them. The Kverl, I can't even say the name. Kverland? Something like that,
yeah, those. They're called tar-ups or something like that?
So they're quite... Well, actually, I'm going to get told off in the comment section for this, but I don't really see that style around me very often, so I don't really use them that often, because around me it's a lot of butterfly mowers and stuff.
Well, that's the thing. I see a lot of those in North America, but the ones that the Kverlands that got released, those particular ones are still only usable on one side of the tractor, whereas the New Holland Discbine, you can mow on either side of the tractor, if you know what I mean. Like, you can flip it around, and you can go up and down and always be mowing on the side. And those I love, because I have those mapped to my joystick. So I'll go down a row, flip them to the other side, go down the row, flip them to the other side. They're a lot of fun to work with.
See, sometimes I get told off in the comment section of my video saying that's not what we use in the UK, blah blah blah. But a lot of the equipment I use is based on stuff around me. Like, that's how I choose my equipment. I'm like, would I see this around me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess I get away with that because I'm not from the UK. So whenever I do a map from here, I don't know. I tend to just ask people to tell me, and then I go ahead and work with whatever I feel like. So just the benefits of being a little tiny channel. Nobody cares. I think
your channel's going to explode. There's a couple. Not a lot of people know this publicly. There's a couple of channels I think are going to be huge. You're one of them, really? And also Useless Farmer, Massive Farmer, Useless Farmer, Massive Fan, Useless Farmer.
Yep, Eustace is the guy who taught me that you could do this thing with role play and have a lot of fun doing it.
Mm. So here's a fun fact about Useless. Let me just load this plow. Back in the day, he was going to originally be the voice of Dodgy Declan.
Oh, was he?
But there's obviously a huge time zone gap, so it just never actually happened.
Yeah. Whenever I get Eustace to come and play with me, it's usually whenever he can afford the time. The guy's got a family and everything, so sometimes we end up staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning doing those shows. Whoa. And of course, getting my UK friends to play like you is always a bit of a challenge with the 5-hour difference.
So what time is it there now? I ain't got the real clock, man.
Yeah, right now it's about 10. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon for me. So
This. Oh yeah, there we go. 10:30 here, and
Yeah,
she's stuck again.
So it's 5:30 here. Woohoo!
There's some
done.
parts of this field she does not like at all.
No, eh? All right, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start helping you out on your side of the field now. I think the MR conversion on my Valtra may be a slight bit more performing than yours.
We're beached.
You're beached.
Lower that down.
So is there bumps in the field or something that are catching you?
I think MR's not. I think it's a little argument going on between MR, the furrow, and the collisions on the T-dub maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe just the power, because like, if my wheel goes into the end furrow, it just sort of beaches. But like now, I'm trying to. There's going to be a gap. That's not doing too bad.
Oh yeah.
But if I was the real life farmer, I'd definitely have to use GPS.
You'd have to have it installed on that particular machine for sure.
There we go. Gear full.
That's the other thing too. You know, people always say, they wouldn't have auto steer on those things and all that stuff. And I don't know if you've ever watched the Welger Farm videos from Western America. They're the ones who use all of the what do you call them? Those the big buds. And they have GPS and auto steer on all those machines.
Well, yeah, because you can get those belt-driven things like little boxes that.
Yeah.
I know that because we can get. Well, you know this more than anyone. You can get them for boats as well.
That's it. There we go.
Let's go in the first person so we can see Marky Mark here.
There we go. You go ahead and take the next row. I'll follow you.
Just get this turned around.
Just gonna use this opportunity to clean up my headland a bit. Yeah, it's basically. I mean, the GPS and especially the straight line driving gear. It's just a flux gate compass and a belt. You know, it's nothing that fancy.
I suppose it works similar to the small aviation ones as well.
Yeah,
they just work off compasses.
That's it. And once you've got your plane, your airplane trimmed, or your tractor trimmed, or your boat trimmed, it doesn't take a whole lot of power to keep it in a straight line. That's for sure. So I'm guessing, like, you know, they have to set up their tractor so that the plow or the cultivator or whatever they're using, the seeder, is properly balanced, and they've got the right weights on them, and then let the rubber band take it from there.
See, in real life, I got just the right level of not cheapskate, stinginess and tech savvy that I think what I'd end up doing is buying the low-end tractor and then getting third-party software or like hardware,
oh yeah,
like aftermarket stuff to get the tractors to do what the higher ones do, like GPS and
yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is I mean especially in our style of gameplay where we're playing with a lot of mods, the idea that you have the biggest and the greatest and the newest tractors to start your farm, that's kind of I don't know. I find that that's a bit of a loss because there's so many beautiful old tractors that you can go through your first year of growing, and then, yeah, absolutely. Then you invest in the farm and you grow it and you get the shiny new ones.
Sure, if I get bored tonight, I might try and model one of those belt drive things in Blender.
That would be cool.
My skill's not good enough to make it actually animate, but the model, at least I can say, there's GPS.
Yeah, there you go. It's funny too because they basically, if you ever get it to go, look it up on YouTube, because it's not a very complicated thing. It's basically a box that mounts beside the steering wheel, and it has a knob on it that you get to select your compass direction, and that's all it is. Ramming speed.
That Vulture's got a lot more power than this Tito, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to check that to see in store what the comparison is, because I think they're roughly about the same. Because I think the T-Dub is about 220 or 240 horsepower.
Well, this one.
35? Yeah.
I'm gonna check.
What is the 35?
I'm just helping myself with the garage screen a minute. See if I can find the T-dub. T-dub, there she is. 186.
Oh, is that it? Okay,
Yeah,
that might be
she's not a powerful one.
that might be a bit marginal for this job then.
One thing I'm going to check actually when I'm doing this pass is the load. I've not been watching that. See how much torture the engine's getting put through here. Only 70% apparently.
Oh, okay.
So she's not struggling too much. It's just it might just be more of an MR issue.
Yeah, I would tend towards the MR issue. If a tractor doesn't get given the right traction coefficients and the right numbers on the wheel friction and stuff like that, it's a complete waste.
So I know this is your show, but you're asking the questions. But what's your opinion on Farmers Dynasty?
What do you mean?
I'm sure you've heard the news about it, no?
You know, the thing about those things like that where the lawyers are involved, I never tend to judge because it could be anything like somebody mentioned that when they originally did their promotional videos, they did use John Deere's.
Yeah,
and
that's what I heard.
It could be that. It could be, you know, there could be a sound effect somewhere in the game that they didn't get a clearance for. It could be a chime or a piece of music that they didn't pay for the rights for. The whole digital rights world is so dodgy and so random that rarely is it an intentional mistake. Most of the time it's because somebody claimed that that's their sound. Like we were talking earlier about the sound of the seagulls on Sandy Bay. You know, somebody claims that's their seagull sound, and then you got to prove them wrong. And it's I don't know. I'm reserving judgment. I'm sort of saying when it all comes out as to what exactly it is, I'm pretty sure people are going to be amazed at how minor and inconsequential it is. But of course, a company like Steam, they got to protect themselves. So the moment the order comes down, the lawyers say, take it down, and it's over, right? So we'll see.
Well, yeah, same with YouTube videos. If someone copyright claims a video, YouTube take it down, but
yeah,
it could be nothing. It could be a mistake.
Absolutely. So. It could be a mistake, and then it takes 2 or 3 days for it to get sorted out. I mean, the number of YouTubers that have been taken down in the last year by, you know, copyright strikes or whatever it is, and then upon human review, it was a pointless attack. It happens. So, like, I never take those things seriously. Have you been playing Farmers Dynasty?
No, it's in my wish list. I didn't get sent that one, but it's I planned on getting it, but I have to wait until they sort it out now, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it'll take a week or so, and then it'll be back. That's my prediction anyway. I think it's much ado about nothing.
Oh gosh.
Are you okay?
Let's just say this is now suddenly a three-wheeler.
Yeah, you may have to give up on that section.
Is this the edge of the field?
I think it is. Yeah, I think you're outside of the field definition now.
Because a little bit here where it goes in, and then I'll drop the cultivator again. So what I might have to do is flip it real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be the last pass, I think.
Yep, I'm going to go up to this side here and clean up this pass, and then we're going to move on to the next field. A few things I really love about this tractor. One of them is that it's got a high and a low range. Then it's got 4 speeds. And then it has 3 ranges of CVT that are sort of selectable anytime. So it's you got all sorts of flexibility for power on the fly. It's kind of, I guess they call it a power shift transmission at the bottom end of everything.
Right.
All right, one last one, and then we are going to move on.
It's a little bit messy, especially on the T-dub side.
Yeah, you know, I don't judge. I'm going to come in here with a cultivator and flip all that around, and it'll take a seed just fine.
But I was also having a little fight with the T-dub as well, so that's my excuse. It was pulling to the left.
Yeah.
Pulling to the right a lot, sorry.
I had Gamer Dragon on here earlier in the week, and he was plowing with a class Arion, I guess it's called, or Axion. Anyway, I could never get those guys straight. But he was plowing sort of sideways, and he pretty much had to have his steering wheel at 45 degrees the whole time to stay on the hill.
That's what well, how could I explain that one? So it was staying quite straight, but then all of a sudden it would just go ooh, and then pull off to the side.
Yeah.
Which is probably where these little green bits come from.
Nah, those are fine. That's just grass. That's more biomass for the cultivator.
I mean, yeah, it'll ferment. It'll be free fertilizer for you.
Exactly. Already having plowed in the grass is one layer of fertilizer, right? So I think it is anyway, because it was in a harvested stage. I don't know. I can never really predict these things. Alright, and the next field we have is, I think, nope, this is Grandma's house.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to flip this. There we go.
Yeah. Alright, new thing with the gearbox now. You have to put it in neutral before you hit the brake on certain tractors, or else it'll just, stall you. Are you struggling with that fence?
I had to flip my my plow around because I would have hit the gate.
I once had a time when I was going into that particular gate with a manure spreader, like the big Joskin Tornado, and I literally had to stop at the gate, pick it back up with the nose of the tractor, and then pull it in backwards, because it was not going to work. All right, let's see here. Start from this end. This one I think is a bit flatter, but I'm not sure. We'll see if that works out.
Let me check the PDA here. See my plan of attack. Where are we? Oh, there we go. Cool. Forgot to turn the diff locks off.
So what do? You start and you make a straight line through the field?
I try and depends what I'm using. So plow's a little bit different. If I'm cultivating, for example, I'll do it like normal, but I'll try and predict where the headland's going to go. So if I'm doing two headlands, I'll go into reverse. Yeah, if I'm doing two headlands, I'll say, right, that's about two headlands. So I'll start here. So I'm not driving over the already done headlands. I'm still doing the headlands last.
Right.
But then I start as close to the edge of the field as I can.
Yeah, I tend to make because of the way that Farm Sim does their texture, I tend to take the first pass at the outside of the field, and it kind of reveals to you sort of where the angle of the field is, like the grain of the field. And then once you have that grain revealed, then the second pass is generally a lot easier to line up. So it's just because of the way that the textures are. Now on this map here, Bullet Bill's put in the multi-terrain angle, so it's not quite as critical. But having that furrow to line up to for the second pass is kind of handy. Let's see here.
I'm actually going to try and start quite close to the hedge here.
So you've got a series going, a realistic series going on Oakfield.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship, that series.
Is it? Is it a little bit more work, therefore hard to schedule your recording?
It's the making sure things are actually done, because I don't like doing, I won't put 2 plowing episodes out in a row.
Right.
So I've got to do loads of stuff off camera, but also I'm having a bit of a argument with More Realistic at the moment as well. Like, it's a fantastic mod, but I feel like it does the hills a bit wrong. It's a bit dramatic with the hills, in my opinion.
Yeah. You do sometimes have to go a little bit overkill on the hills. in terms of the equipment you use. But that's why, like, I tend to the geography of the map that I use tends to be very important. Like I select my fields based on how hilly they are, and I think on Oatfield there's a few. I was watching your logging episode the other night, and you sort of drove by a field and said that your the owner of the main farm was thinking about buying that. I would never touch that field.
That's a
not with MR. No, it's just impossible.
That's a Big Bud field for sure. I think Landy Kid's got it.
Sometimes when I get fields like that, what I do is I go and I get the I rent a quad track. I'll do it, but I'll do it for fun with a quad track.
So what was I think it was West Coast. Clutch is overheating. Oh, good.
Oh yeah.
Good. I think it was West Coast actually. My West Coast series. So I had a lot of grass work to do, and I was using quite small equipment, so we got in contractors instead. But then I still played the part of the contractors.
Yep. You did like a time lapse with them, right?
Yeah, like a cinematic video with that one.
Yeah, that was a beautiful video. I
It's
love
like
it.
doing them once a week.
I love it when people do things like that, where they take the mold of what is farm sim and come up with something completely different. So a cinematic time-lapsey video of contractors, to me, is brilliant because it's a combination of a role play and a time lapse. Oh my god, this cold is killing me.
See, the secret behind that video is a lot of people say it was courseplay. Technically, it was, but I'm stuck again. God, clutching. It was me from the past, so. Because you can save courseplay without having to save the actual map,
right?
The courses. So I did all of them off camera.
Yeah.
Like did all the jobs myself.
Right.
Saved the courses, and then those guys are basically me from the past. If that makes sense.
Oh really? You actually scripted all of your movements and then just had them rerun the script?
Yeah, because I didn't want them to look like robots doing it, so I wanted them to look quite human.
Oh wow.
So what I did is I actually did the job 100% myself, and then went back, replayed it through courseplay, and then acted as the cameraman. So I was technically filming myself from the past. That's how it came out looking quite human-y.
Wow. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, because you had them run the balers and everything, right?
Yeah. So the bait. What is going on? This field's. I'm having more issue with this field than the other field. Let's put it into low a minute. There we go.
There you go, you're getting it.
I forgot to put it back into low range. I put it into high for the road.
Yeah. I don't have a shifter like you do. I run a sequential gearbox off my joystick. So whenever I'm starting a job, the first thing I do is I hit the down button on the highs and the lows and just reset everything to 0 and then start over again. One day I will have a proper shifter.
Planning on upgrading soon, but I'm not in a rush. There's nothing wrong with this one. It's just I really want a belt drive wheel instead of a gear one.
So which wheel are you looking at?
Definitely Thrustmaster, but I don't know exactly what model just yet.
Because they've got the 150 and they got the 300, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting the 300. I think I was looking at the Fantech, Anatech stuff, but that's for like hardcore.
I know that Dave does a lot of Assetto Corsa or stuff like that. Do you do those games too?
I'm a rally man. I don't do videos on it, but off camera I'm a rally man. So I do like Dirt Rally, Dirt 4, Rally Cross.
Okay. Yeah, Dirt 4 is a game that I own and I love, except once I got to the ice portion of the rallies, yeah, it was kind of over. I can't keep that in control.
I wish I was good at racing games, but I'm really not. Like for some reason, my brain works a lot better with rally game, or using your wheels to stop like against the dirt as opposed to your brakes.
Yeah.
Can we get a slow clap for me? I just did a whole pass. Forgot to lower the plow.
Nicely done. Golf clap.
Let's go back and do that one again.
Dear
Thought it was
Lord.
going a little bit too easy.
Yeah, it's like you're paid by the hour over there. Oh, that's okay. I just did this whole pass of the plow facing the wrong way. GG, GG.
Wow, this thing is not fun to drive in low range. A top speed is 6 miles per hour.
Yeah, you'll get those. All right, back again. So, did you restart your Illuminate channel, or how is that going?
It comes back for a couple of weeks, then dies every now and then. But I'm getting new internet soon, so I'm hoping there's going to be Illuminate on Twitch.
Oh.
Like after this video is rendered and uploaded, I think I'll go do my usual game, because I'm actually into like survival games and like shooter games usually, but obviously
Right.
I can't put them on the channel because they're not PG.
Right.
So I think I'd love to be able to stream them, just chill out. I feel like Twitch is a bit more relaxed than YouTube.
Yeah, I keep telling people that you know, I mean, I watch Squirrel a fair amount, right? And I like that his format where he's got a YouTube channel, but his moneymaker is Twitch. And he uses his YouTube channel to drive traffic to his Twitch channel. And I know it probably took him a while to accomplish that, but it does make a whole lot more sense because of the freedom you have to be on Twitch, and the music rights are a lot more slack, and you get a lot more abilities to donate, and the bits and the subscriptions and all that stuff. And people can subscribe, you know, basically for free if they have Amazon Prime. So, you know, I tend to move my Amazon Prime subscription around from one streamer to the next every now and then, so...
I always say YouTube's not... Don't start a YouTube channel in hopes that... Like, don't start a YouTube channel for money, because it's not gonna...
No.
It's not gonna work out like that at all. Like, it's gotta be a hobby. Like, I just enjoy uploading videos people can watch. Just, if I wanted to make money, I'd probably would have started off on Twitch, to be fair.
I think once it becomes a job, you lose a lot of the joy that comes from just being a gamer, right? If you're a gamer and you like to share your gaming with people all over the world, that's one kind of programming. But as soon as you get too buried in the dollars and cents and in the income and in, you know, having to create videos because frankly they make money but you don't like making them, it's sort of a loss at that point.
So here's a exclusive for the Mark DuPont channel.
Ooh.
So last year, it would have been during early 2017. From YouTube, I was earning about £3,000 a month.
Wow.
Was,
okay.
Which is fantastic, but I was not happy at all. Like waking up early, staying in all day recording videos. I was like, this is no.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided YouTube, I would never make it a job. So
No.
I don't get money anymore, but I'm happier. Like, I go out with friends and stuff.
And that was driven by what? By your growth? By the speed at which you were growing the channel? Or was it when you were doing the... I guess it was when you were doing the emergency videos?
No, it was that was the... I'd say this was the Farm Sim... Well, actually, early 17, late 15 maybe.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I decided... I wasn't interested in money at all, so...
No.
I just decided to make it a hobby again.
You know, as a hobby, for me, the most rewarding part of this whole thing is my comments section. I have, you know, I don't have a lot of subscribers, but they're very active in my comment section. And I have relationships with them, and we talk about stuff, and we have inside jokes with each other. And for me, it's always really about the community that is around Farm Sim. Because as a moneymaker, you're at the mercy of too many people. You're at the mercy of giants. You're at the mercy of YouTube. There's too many variables to make this into a business.
Yeah, especially YouTube now that keep changing everything. Like,
oh yeah.
If I went back to full-time YouTube, I don't think it'd be on the same sort of numbers because YouTube have changed the way their ads work.
Yeah.
PCM's gone down. Like, I'd never let anyone do it. Like, if a friend told me they're doing YouTube full-time, I'd be like, don't be an idiot. Do not quit your job for YouTube. If you don't have a job, then fair enough, but don't quit your job for it.
No, that's it. No, it's if you're a gamer and you like hanging out in the community and you like meeting people and chatting with people, then it's a great way to share your gaming. Because gaming, by its nature, is kind of a solo kind of activity. But if you add multiplayer to it and then you add YouTube to it, you can sort of take it away from being kind of a basement dweller occupation to something you do out in the daylight.
Mm. So that's why I like doing the live streams on Mondays. So I'm sure you've been there before, and I've done let me know where you're watching from, and everyone just spams where they're watching from.
Yeah.
It's because it amazes me that I'm sat in my bedroom here in Plymouth, and it's people from like Illinois and Texas, Canada watching me play a game while I'm sat in my bedroom. And that's the bit I like about doing videos.
And it's an incredible thing, right? I mean, all of these people latched onto this really goofy little game where we pretend to be farmers. I mean, it's not like it's it's not like it's a military role play or anything like that. We're literally just sitting here plowing fields in a make-believe world, and people watch it, and people enjoy it. And when I say people, I mean I enjoy it because I'm subscribed to so many farming sim streamers and creators. I like watching how other people do their farming. I like watching how other people run their shows. It's very, to me, that's the real interesting part, is this micro community stuff. Oh, I may or may not have missed quite a bit there. Oh well.
I've been missing loads. This field's been worse for this tractor than the other one.
Is it really? It's flatter than the other one.
For some reason, she's really struggling in this field. I'm arguing with the steering wheel loads.
I'm super curious now to know what happened to the MRing of that tractor.
Well, just driving along here, I'm getting 12.1% wheel slip, which isn't that much. But...
No, if you're plowing, that's not bad. Especially, do you have one wheel in the furrow when you get that?
No, that's on the grass.
I was watching George Saunders, or I think it actually might have been Dino, and he was plowing, and he was getting 20% wheel slip, and he said that was okay. So, I guess his big John Deere gives him his wheel slip in percentages.
Tractors are amazing these days.
I know. They're amazing, and I mean, I recently downloaded the Ago John Deere mod, and it's the first John Deere that I've ever sat in and really enjoyed working. The modeling is absolutely stunning. The interior is extremely well done. It sounds amazing. It looks amazing, but it's pretty incredible the amount of power that you have in one of those machines in terms of the way the transmission is set up, and it's easier, but it's bigger, so it's more complicated, if you know what I mean.
Fendt for me is one of the most impressive machines.
Oh yeah.
The technology you get into a Fendt. By the way, I did really miss quite a lot though. I'm trying to now go in parallel with your passes, direction-wise.
Okay. No, that's all right. We eventually catch up, right? Multi-terrain angle for the win.
Fendts are really growing on me.
Yep. Oh yeah, even the in-game 900 I was playing with the other day, just on a lark. Just amazing what's inside of that. And then I had a friend who's got a one of those big 1000s, the modded one, and oh my god, it's just incredible sitting in that much power and being able to pull massive equipment.
Yeah, so the power ratio for what they can do is incredible. Like, following videos on YouTube, and you have like 170 horsepower Fendt go up against a 220 horsepower John Deere, and the Fendt wipes the floor with it. I'm just like, what? Yeah.
Well, that's all traction control and computer controls of everything that every single wheel does, right? I mean, I farm with a Belgian guy who's a huge fan to the Fendts, but he always says that he works on a dairy farm in Belgium, and he says they would never own one of them, but that all the contractors in Europe run them because they're so efficient and they are so powerful that when your cost of labor is super high, you can't have a tractor that doesn't do the job. So everything is overkill on it.
So they're also one of the fastest tractors for the road as well, apart from like the JCB, for example, which is pretty much built for the road. From what I've heard, anyway. I've never driven a Fendt. Just disclaimer.
Yeah. Keep all the information shared within these videos are from virtual farmers only. Oh, brakes! I got you.
I need to turn it around actually. Yeah. It's getting like nice and cozy up here.
There you go. Let me see if I can back out of your way. There we go. I'll swing it this way. Keep it safe. All right, I'll let you finish that stuff, and I'll handle headlands. Oh, thank you for closing the gate.
It's like habit now.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it again.
Too much activity at the head of the field.
I was too busy trying not to crash into you.
You know what I did with my V key, is I put my V key on the trigger finger of my joystick. So every time I shift into it, I just I hit the trigger button and it goes up and down. And then my thumb trigger is my and then I stalled my tractor.
So I don't know if you know what the side panel looks like in terms of where buttons are and stuff.
The SciTech one?
Yeah. I'm beached again.
You may be experiencing some tire slip.
I'm getting 98.6% wheel spin.
I'm just looking over my shoulder and you're parked. There you go.
See, it's fine now.
Yep, that's it. You just gotta drop it while you're already moving.
There's something really wrong with the MR on this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bad work, always blames his tools.
But this plow is rated for exactly your horsepower rating, you know? It's exactly at 180. So
I haven't got much headroom, basically.
Well, you don't have much headroom, but at the same time, it's not like you're climbing Mount Everest with the thing. You're just plowing a potato patch.
Engine loads at 100%. Well, the wheel slip's now down to 15, which is good.
There you go. 15 is acceptable.
Let's get that bit I missed a minute ago. Well, deliberately missed.
Okay, I'll take the other one that you missed by mistake.
FYI, viewers, never drop your plow while moving in real life.
No, that's a no-no.
That's a... Well, actually, unless you want to rip your tractor in half, feel free.
Right.
In fact, speaking of Dino, there's a really old video of Dino when he used to drive a class, and he managed to, like, I don't exactly know what happened, but the tractor ripped in half while he was sat in it.
Really?
It's still on his channel.
Wow.
I think it was plowing, actually. So I think...
You may have had some rust issues.
I'm going to have to look at this video. Oh, I'm stuck in the same place again. It's something to do with this corner. And the MR on this tractor.
Yeah, I would tend to believe it's the MR on the tractor for sure. It's, there's no way it should be that underpowered. I mean, you know, it's a TW for crying out loud. See, I'm starting to feel this hill here because I'm really climbing hard. But I'm only 30 horsepower above what you have, so... Okay. Are you seeing the train on your side too?
Yeah.
That is just so cool.
So what do you want to see out of Farm Sim 19?
I want to see Farm Sim 19 include all the things that the modders have added to Farm Sim 17. I'd like to see a button in the escape menu for seasons on and off. I'd like to see a button on and off for more realistic. Stuff like that. You know, I would hate to have Doral have to start all over again with what he's created. Because he did it in Farm Sim 13 and it was amazing then. And then he finally got back to doing it in 17. And I just don't want to see modders' work go to waste. And if it means that Giants has to sort of appropriate it and take it over and take the ownership of it, then so be it. but I don't want to give up these really amazing mods that have come up in 17. I just don't want to give them up. I think they're fantastic. These guys have done amazing work.
All the stuff I want is stuff that has been taken out the game, so it's not too much to ask for. Like there's some stuff I've really missed from FS13. That is a pretty good thumbnail as well, actually.
Oh, is it? The two tractors? Yeah. Here, let me lean up against yours. Give people some scale to the tractor.
Sorted.
There you go. You do the whole custom thumbnail and everything. It's kind of cool.
This tractor's quite nice. Can I take a look at the inside of it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to take it for a spin, take it for a spin. Do you want me to take the plow off of it and you can go for a drive around the field?
Ah, that's right.
Okay.
I'm a very interior man.
Yeah.
So you actually, so I should have guessed it was an alright interior.
Yeah.
I don't like finding mods that are amazing on the outside. Like this T-dub, even if it looked exactly the same as this but a horrible interior, I wouldn't use it.
No, that's it. That's it. No, for me, that's sort of the mark of a mod creator that understands that we're trying to get transported to another place. The immersion in this game is so important that if you hop into a tractor and you go to start it up and the interior is just boxy and black and it feels like you're playing Atari, yeah, no thanks. I'm just gonna leave it aside.
Just like flat panels with textures painted onto them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if anything, I mean, because I'm a first-person player, I will choose, like, there's a lot of the mods that I use that are really horrible Russian mods, but the Russians tend to spend a lot more energy on the interiors. Compared to, say, like, there's a lot of pickup truck and trucking mods from America, where the trucks are nice and shiny on the outside, but are absolute, garbage on the inside in terms of being able to sit in your truck and drive your truck. That drives me crazy. That drives me crazy. Anyway, thank you so much, Sim, for coming out to play. I really appreciate you being here, and we're gonna do a couple more fields up there. We got fields 3 and 4 still to finish, but I think this is a long enough show for the viewers. So I will see everybody later.
Later.